one of the biggest games at Gamescom every year that gets massive exposure is FIFA. We're catching up with David once again to talk about this year's edition of FIFA and the changes you're making and all the new features and all of that things. But first, let's start with Next-gen.
Okay.
Microsoft had a big announcement. So what does that sort of deal mean for the development team and you as a developer? It sort of puts a little pressure on you, doesn't it?
So, I mean, if you're talking about the bundle with the game, and it's not unusual for a game to be bundled with a console. So, you know, for us it's great though, because lots of people are going to get our game. So we're happy about that because it's a great game and we know people will like it and enjoy it and hopefully we'll have fun playing it, which means they'll then keep playing and then end up buying the next one. For the Legends announcement, which is an Xbox 360 and Xbox One exclusive for FIFA 14, that for us is great because it's a feature we've wanted to do for a little while now, which is, you know, slowly but surely create this list of players that significant from the recent past and introduce them into the world of Ultimate Team as, you know, rare players that turn up that you can add to your squad.
Is that the sort of the concept there? You want it from the recent past and not sort of move back all the way, because football of course has evolved and might be hard to introduce someone.
It's a little bit to do with that, but more than anything it's to make sure that the players who are generally playing our game recognise and understand the players that they've got. I mean, there are obviously really historical players that, you know, some would say that Pelé is one of those players too, but I mean, I think pretty much every football fan in the world's probably heard of him. But for the development team and people for our age and slightly less, you know, 99% of the over 40 that we'll be releasing will be players that they will have heard of and will know what they're good at.
So when it comes to this sort of thing, I can imagine that there's a wish list at the team and at the studio, and there's a lot of considerations to be taken, like you need to pick off players from all these different countries. Can you tell us a little bit about what that process has been like?
Yeah, it's probably a little less formal than you think. So it started as an email. Hey, we're going to do this. Ideas for football players that you'd like to see in the game, and escalated from there into British. I mean, we're lucky. We have over 30 different nationalities on the team, representing, you know, pretty much all walks of life that love football and like making video games. So you asked 30 nationalities what football players from the recent past they'd like in there. You get quite a lot of feedback. So it was an email that went around the team over and over. Triple M, Michael Miller-Meering runs our research department here in Cologne, coordinates all of the data collection, attributes, the clubs and leagues, etc. He was a big part of that too, and obviously our licensing team globally helped secure what we got.
So what kind of range can we expect here? Like, could you give us any examples of
Sure.
You know,
so I think you know, you could look at a player like Ljungberg, who's probably not renowned for being the absolute best legend, but certainly is extremely well regarded and well known, both internationally and domestically. Then you could go from there to say Pelé, who's, you know, arguably considered the best footballer that ever lived. So that's probably the range of players. But then also in that mix, you've got kind of like Teddy Sheringham, who's, you know, played for Man United, not exactly known for his physique or his physical prowess, but just had this mental ability to create space and opportunities out of nowhere. So you've got all different types of players in that mix.
Sort of the intelligent striker in sort of
so
essentially
all, you know, defenders, goalkeepers, midfielders, attackers, the full range of players.
I like Sheringham because it's not sort of your typical choice. There's so many legends from England to choose from, but Sheringham's like a little bit of an odd choice. But he's such a class player in terms of like how he presents himself on the pitch. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, he's a football player I've been lucky enough to see play in real life a number of times, and really admired. Almost like his guile on the pitch, you didn't see it coming. So I mean, that's what we've tried to do, is to create this balance, this difference of players.
So that takes us to sort of Ultimate Team. How are you changing up Ultimate Team on the whole for FIFA 14?
Sure, so the big changes we made this year were around chemistry. So removing the kind of dependencies on formations and in the selection of the squad, which boosted your team, and bringing it down to team chemistry, which is the kind of, if you like, the way the team meshes and gels and works together as a whole. which I know has been incredibly well received by the community.
Does that make it more a dynamic experience in a way?
Well, what it really means is that in the past you might have been limited by the way you could combine your players in a squad based on what formations they wanted to play, and now it's about how they gel as a team, which means that theoretically you can get more value out of your own item, your own player, in that squad, because playing him with a team where he has good chemistry means he will perform well, and you're not limited to him only being able to play when the team's in a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-4 or whatever.
One thing we noticed when we saw the game here is and someone told me that, oh, the crowd is sort of really animated for the first time ever. And it's something that, wait a minute, yes, that is something different, but it's not something that strikes you immediately. Is that sort of where you are with FIFA now, that you're adding these things that perhaps something that you will have to look at it a couple of times to realize that you've actually made quite a big change now?
I don't know. I think if you see the introduction flow into the game, the pans over the stadia, the way that the players come onto the pitch, that whole
usually I just click past.
Well, this is the thing. So the idea really is to introduce this very lavish production quality to those things. So hopefully people will enjoy them. But yeah, you can click past them if you don't want to watch. But introducing those elements actually adds to the emotion and the spirit of the match as they do in real life. So many of our fans were feeding back, when are you going to fix the crowds, when are you going to make the crowds good, etc., etc. It was a thing that we wanted to do this year, and obviously with the power of the new consoles and EA Sports Ignite, it was actually something we could do now that there's a lot more power available to us.
So you don't have that much time to go. Little changes, little fixes that you still got to put in there?
So, well, for the 360 and PlayStation 3 version, they're very close to done now. It's final bug fixing, testing, and just making sure everything's as good as it can be, and we're extremely happy with that game. For the Xbox One and PS4, we've got a little bit more time. We're still, making tweaks and tunes and changes here and there based on obviously feedback from this show. We'll be waiting for the reports from the show floor. It's out there and people can come and play it. It's also on the Microsoft stand, so we'll be interested to see what people say. But tons of changes gone into it. All the new human intelligence work, all the new true player motion work that's gone into animations and behaviours. Lots and lots of changes. So we really think people are going to be blown away by what we've made.
Great way to kick off the season. Yeah. Once again, thank you very much for your time, David.
Thank you.